Isaac Pitbull Cruz versus Lamont Roach Jr. is one of those matchups that feels like old-school boxing drama returning to center stage. It's not just a fight, it's a statement. Two fighters from two very different worlds meeting at a crossroads in their careers, each with everything to prove. Cruz, the Bulldog from Mexico City, is known for his relentless aggression, his pressure fighting, and his refusal to take a step back. Roach, from Washington, D.C., is all about precision, timing, and technique. One represents raw chaos, the other represents calm calculation. When their names were announced for December 6, 2025, fans knew instantly this wasn't just going to be another bout on the calendar. This was going to be a war. Isaac Pitbull Cruz has built a reputation as one of the most exciting fighters in the lightweight and super lightweight divisions. His style is all forward momentum, short, compact, explosive punches that break opponents down round by round. Fans remember his breakout performance against Gervonta Tank Davis, where despite losing by decision, he earned massive respect for taking Tank to the limit. Since then, Pitbull has become a crowd favorite, especially among Mexican boxing fans who love fighters that bring heart, grit, and violence to every round. He doesn't dance, he doesn't talk much, he just bites down on his mouthpiece and goes to war. Lamont Roach Jr., on the other hand, comes from a different breed of fighter. Smooth, smart, and patient, he's a technician in the ring. Roach isn't the kind of guy who gets dragged into brawls. He controls distance, picks his shots, and frustrates his opponents with accuracy. He's been climbing the ladder carefully, waiting for his shot at a big name. His calm demeanor hides a quiet confidence, the kind that only comes from years of discipline. This fight gives him the chance to silence critics who say he's too cautious or lacks the killer instinct needed at the top level. Against a pressure monster like Cruz, Roach has to prove he can not only survive the storm but control it. As soon as the fight was confirmed, fans started debating styles. Pressure versus precision, they called it. Pitbull's team believes Roach has never faced anyone with Cruz's kind of ferocity. In interviews, Cruz said, "I don't care about his movement or his jab. I'll break him down. He's going to run, and when I catch him, he'll feel what real power is." Roach responded calmly, almost amused, saying, "You can't punch what you can't touch. I'm not afraid of pressure. I'm ready to outthink him every second of every round." The contrast between their personalities adds even more electricity to the build-up. Training camps tell the story of how seriously both men are taking this fight. Cruz has been spotted training in high-altitude gyms in Mexico, focusing on conditioning and combinations designed to cut off the ring. His coaches say this version of Pitbull is smarter. He's learning how to apply pressure without wasting energy, how to trap fighters systematically instead of just rushing forward. Roach, meanwhile, has been sharpening his counterpunching in Maryland, sparring with bigger opponents to get used to Cruz's explosive inside game. He's been focusing on body movement, head control, and precision footwork to neutralize Cruz's attacks. His camp believes the key is simple: keep the fight in the center of the ring, frustrate Cruz, and pick him apart as he lunges in. As the fight approaches, the boxing community has started weighing in with their predictions. Canelo Alvarez praised Cruz's toughness, but warned Pitbull can't go in wild against a technician. Roach is sharp, and if you get sloppy, he'll make you pay. Oscar de la Hoya, who knows both fighters, said, "This is a classic styles clash. Roach has the tools, but Pitbull's pressure is like a storm. You can't stop it. You can only survive it." Meanwhile, legends like Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. backed Cruz, saying, "He's the kind of fighter the fans love. He fights with his heart. When you have that, you're never out of a fight." Online, opinions are split right down the middle. Hardcore fans who love brawlers are riding with Cruz, predicting an early knockout. Others believe Roach's discipline and ring IQ will expose Cruz's weaknesses, especially his tendency to overcommit when frustrated. Betting odds opened slightly in Cruz's favor, but as training camp updates rolled out, the gap began to close. The narrative now feels balanced. Either man could win depending on whose game plan survives the chaos of the ring. Press conferences have shown their personalities vividly. At the first one, Cruz arrived in a sharp black suit, his trademark Pitbull chain around his neck. He spoke briefly, saying, "I respect Lamont, but he's standing in my way. I'm coming to hurt him." Roach, smiling, replied, "You can't hurt what you can't hit. Let's see what happens when the dog gets tired." The tension between them was quiet but heavy, the kind of respectful intensity that boxing purists love. No antics, no fake drama, just two professionals promising violence. What makes this fight so appealing is that both men have everything on the line. For Cruz, a win keeps his momentum alive and sets him up for another world title shot, possibly against someone like Devin Haney or Shocker Stevenson. A loss, however, would derail the Pitbull hype train and raise questions about whether his style can truly dominate the elite level. For Roach, this is his chance to break through into mainstream recognition. A win over Cruz would not only elevate his career, but prove that skill and composure can still beat raw aggression. A loss would risk labeling him as just another good boxer who couldn't handle pressure. The undercurrent to all of this is the emotional intensity of both fighters' journeys. Cruz grew up in a rough part of Mexico City where fighting wasn't a sport, it was survival. His father trained him from a young age, teaching him the philosophy of never take a step back. Every time he fights, you see that upbringing in his eyes, determination, fury, and pride. Roach's story is one of patience and perseverance. Coming from a boxing family, he's been around the sport since childhood. His style isn't flashy, but it's refined. He's not fighting for fame, he's fighting to perfect his craft. The contrast between their backgrounds makes this fight feel like more than just a matchup. It's a collision of mindsets. As fight week nears, gym footage keeps surfacing online. Cruz hitting pads, each punch echoing like thunder. Roach shadowboxing in silence, his movements sharp and economical. Commentators are analyzing every second, every quote, every clip. On social media, fans are predicting everything from an early knockout to a tactical 12-round chess match. Even rival fighters are paying attention. Gervonta Davis said, "Pitbull always brings fire, but Roach is slick. Don't sleep on him." Shocker Stevenson noted, "I like Roach's style, but Pitbull's pressure is different. Once he gets inside, it's hard to stop him." In the final press event before the weigh-in, both fighters stood face-to-face, no smiles, no jokes. Cruz's glare was pure intensity. Roach's expression was calm, focused. Reporters asked Cruz if he planned to box more patiently this time. He simply said, "I don't change who I am. I fight. That's what I do." When Roach was asked how he planned to handle the pressure, he replied, "Pressure only matters if you panic. I won't panic." The energy in the room felt like the calm before a storm. When fight night comes on December 6th, the arena will be electric. Mexican flags waving on one side, DC fans cheering on the other. The crowd will feel divided, but united in anticipation. The opening bell will sound, and Cruz will charge forward, head low, gloves high, launching bombs from the first second. Roach will circle, keeping distance, firing jabs, trying to keep Cruz at bay. Every exchange will be a test. Can Roach handle the power? Can Cruz handle the patience? Each round will build like a pressure cooker. By the middle rounds, the fight will reveal itself. If Roach can maintain control, he'll start picking Cruz apart, landing clean counters. If Cruz can cut off the ring, he'll drag Roach into the trenches, forcing him to trade. It's the kind of fight where one mistake could decide everything. A missed jab, a mistimed step, a single counter could change the whole story. What's beautiful about a fight like this is that there's no villain, no gimmick. It's just two fighters bringing everything they've got to the ring. It's a reminder of why people fell in love with boxing in the first place. Cruz's relentless attack versus Roach's refined skill. Heart versus mind. Chaos versus order. When the final bell rings, no matter who wins, both men will have earned respect. If Cruz's power and pressure prevail, it proves he's ready for the very best at 140 pounds. If Roach wins, it proves that intelligence and adaptability still reign supreme in boxing. Either way, fans will walk away knowing they witnessed a real fight, a fight that wasn't built on hype, but on hunger. And as the arena lights fade, both men will leave knowing that for 12 rounds, they gave the sport everything it deserves: courage, heart, and the kind of raw honesty that can only be found inside the ropes.